back, and as usual, I use the term loosely. Hey, the last time you saw me, I was getting ready to put these screws on, and I decided they need a little wire brushing, so I was going to run them out to the shop and do that. When I came back, the memory card on the camera was full. I didn't feel like transferring the video over. It was getting late, so I went ahead and installed these the spring plate and adjusted the screws. Anyway, that's done. That was yesterday. So today I got just a little bit of light assembly I was going to do, and the goal today is to get this engine bolted loosely into the frame with a couple of bolts so I could just start mocking up where stuff is going to be. But before I do that, I got to go into another fucking rant about cheap ass import fucking parts, okay? This bike is going to be a dry clutch bike, so it needs the cover on it. This is the only cover I have left, and it's a pretty beat up piece of shit, and you know, it's probably usable, but it's all fucked up. I really don't want to give it to a customer. It might be cracked in here, so you know, I figured, fuck it, let's get a new one. So, of course, the only ones available, unless I want to hunt eBay for an OEM, are the V-twin. The V-twin type covers, okay? Made in Taiwan, as you would expect. A pretty simple part. How could you fuck this up? Well, let me show you how. If you take a close look at this bastard. Get some focus here going. Okay, if you take a close look at this bastard, the height of the flange is uneven. It varies all the way around. You know, what difference does it make? Well, it really doesn't make any difference. But you know, over here the flange is real thin. Over here the flange is real tall. You know, a deal breaker, no, not by itself. But watch this. Get some focus going again. The motherfucker won't fit flat on the fucking clutch. The diameter between the sides of the flange is too small, and it won't fit over the fucking clutch hub. This should be a fucking 60-second job to screw this on. The motherfucking Taiwanese, get a motherfucking ruler, will you? Fuck. Here's a fucking, here's the Harley one. Beat the shit, and of course it fits on there fucking perfectly. Fuck me, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. You know, I could send it back and bitch. They're just gonna send me another one that's all fucked up too. The flange probably doesn't really need to be there because the gasket is what seals. I'm gonna go see if this fits on my lathe, and I might just try to peel the flange off, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, if you force it on there, you know, it'll come down unevenly. It'll bend. It'll distort. What the fuck? Fucking dickheads. Finish my rant about Taiwanese motorcycle parts. That clutch dome cover today, earlier. You know, this is why, and as stupid as this might sound, I don't care. This is why I don't buy Taiwanese parts for inside the engine. You got something like that derby cover. Simple part, generous tolerance for dimensions on it, I'm sure, and they can't make the son of a bitch fit. You know, you got to wonder what makes you think that they can manufacture connecting rods, camshafts, precision internal engine parts when they can't stamp a simple chunk of metal out of a piece of 16 gauge steel and have it work. Just pisses me off. Anyway, I decided to use the old beat up stock HD cover I had. I kind of sanded it off a little bit with a angle grinder, and you know, I decided it wasn't cracked, and you know, it fits fine. I'm sure it'll seal up just fine. I'm sure it'll work just fine. Looks a little nasty, but nothing wrong with it functionally. Anyway, the whole gyrations of what we were going through over the last couple of 3 or 4 weeks was to get to this point. I wanted the bottom end of the engine together and done. so that I could put it in and out of the frame fairly easily in order to do mock-up, like fit the exhaust pipes and things like that. There are no pistons in it. The cylinders and the heads are held on with just one bolt each. They were put on there just to mock up parts. This is the exhaust the owner wanted. I like it. I think it looks pretty sharp on there. A couple of things I don't like when you start looking at it from different angles about the way some of the bends are made, but for the most part, I think it looks pretty sharp. Like I said, owner picked it out. I think this is going to look cool on here. This is the oil tank the owner wanted on there. When I unboxed all of his tailings, so to speak, this was in the pile of tailings. I think it was brand new. He thinks it might have been brand new too, never used. This goofy looking fender that's on there. I had bought another fender for this bike. I set it on there just like that, sitting on there, and I decided I didn't like it at all. I like the shape of this one better. I don't know that I'm going to use this. This is just, you know, strumming for ideas right now. One of the other things I was concerned about when I put these exhaust pipes on, I was concerned, very concerned, that they weren't going to clear the kickstart lever. It looks like they're going to clear the kickstart lever just fine, so that's not going to be an issue. The other thing or things I was concerned about is the rear wheel, the main shaft sprocket, and the chain, and the brake rod. I had a yardstick up on the sprocket running to the front sprocket. It looks like the chain is going to clear everything just fine. I might make and weld a sacrificial chunk of steel to the bottom of the oil tank. If the chain is slapping around, it might hit the bottom of the oil tank. The oil tank can be raised up some in the frame, but then you might not be able to get the cap off it to put oil in it, so that could be a problem. But anyway, wanted to get the bike to a stage where everything on the bike could be mocked up. So I think the next things I'll be working on will be the whatever bracket's got to be welded for the exhaust, and the fender and the sissy bar. So for now, that's it. Hey, I am out of here. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.